Master Jiru studied Theravada Buddhism and was originally ordained in that tradition in Thailand in 1980. He later studied Chinese Buddhism and ordained in Mahayana Chan tradition under the late great Buddhist master Venerable Zhummu in 1986. While in Southeast Asia, Master Jiru held several important teaching and administrative positions in the Malaysian Buddhist community, including the vice chairmanship of the Buddhist Association of Malaysia Youth and religious advisor to the Sabah State Liaison Committee of Malaysia, where he helped establish the Sabah Luban Buddhist Educational Foundation. Shifu came to the United States in 1992 to give a Dharma talk, and shortly thereafter was appointed abbot of Great Enlightenment Temple in New York. In 1993, he became secretary of the Buddhist Union of New York. In 1996, he became the vice chairperson of Mid-America Buddhist Association, MABA. He formed the Youth Buddhist Educational Foundation the following year. In 1999, he became the abbot of Mid-America Buddhist Association, MABA, where we are today. In 2000, he became abbot of the International Buddhism Friendship Association in Chicago. In 2002, he was appointed abbot of Chuangmin Monastery and Great Enlightenment Temple in New York. He held those posts for 2 years before returning full-time to Maba, where he now resides. Master Jiru also travels more frequently to give teachings at the Jade Temple in Houston, Texas, as well as to Fa Hua Monastery in San Francisco. Here at Maba, Master has been very active in physically building all the structures that you see here, including the new female dormitory now being constructed. Introduce Master Jiru.
Respectfully, honestly, to have you all, our monk brother and bhikkhuni, female monks, and respectfully to have you all, the teachers in Zen and for other tradition, be gone. And very honored to give a formal talk in this afternoon, because today is the Vesak day, so I need to quote something very important in Buddhism, how to put it into practice in the ancient time, past to today, modern time. So one of my topic is called the 5 Skandas. 5 Skandas is the first 110 sutra in the connected discourses, primary resources in Buddhism. So in my study from Theravada to Mahayana or Chinese Buddhism, I myself secretly read a lot of texts. I found 2 things that discovered by myself to build up my faith. That is called 2 paths or teachings, very important to my life, make my eye open to see the harmony is possible in this world. The first teaching is called depend on skanda counting of self. The second teaching is called depend on mind numbering as a self. So Buddhism talk about self and non-self. This is a very important teaching. If you have a self-attachment, then you are clinging to the condition for defilements or for stress, burning your body and mind. Skanda means the body and mind. So if you are penetrating to this self-identity, then you, in that moment, you are free, your mindset, not being stressful, or we call that you are liberated by that moment. So here is something that I want to quote some important message for you to see how this self means for us. The first thing is body self. The second thing is mental self. We have that kind of identity all the time. And body self is material form. Sometimes it's not me important, but mine is important. My family, my country, my this and that, just opposite with what your body is need to be settled. So you concern that is a self. So body self is very rough. I think more we know that this body self is very attractive, and relate to this body mind is very important. Without them, sometimes you will see a lot of stress, even though you give up living because of that is not exist anymore. You see? So let me quote an important enlightened guy. I think here is we have a Japan Sodo teacher here. He can give me very important if I read the Japan was not correct. So in the years of Kamakura, that is the in the Bokufu government, have a lady. This lady's name is called Tiyono. So Tiyono, this lady is a beautiful lady. In the government's office, the Greek government's daughter, a lot of, that kind of, we call that high class people, young people, is asking her for friend, for wife, but she didn't marry. Until one day, learn the teaching in Buddhism, talk about impermanent, all things facing to cessation. She woke up. Because of the beauty, she wanted to become monastic, train his mind to be liberated. All the attachment she wanted. So in that situation, because of the beauty, no such a monastery want her to become, partner. Especially the man. Oh, this trouble guy. If you come, then the monk become correct mentally. Because we are common people, a lot of desire burning there, a lot of requires or look for. That is the mind always processing that kind of, grabbing. So, in order she can become a practitioner, stay in the monastery, so she burned her face. Use the charcoal, burn the face. So after burning the face, it's tell the determination she have. We are handsome. If I want to burn my face like that, I deny it. Because I attach to this physique. Certain worry and fear always in the mind. So right now the decision is made like that. So she going to the practice, but until the first teacher gone, the second teacher from China come and take place of the Zen training. She enlightened. So Tiano is a very great first Picodi or female monks in Japan monastic of Buddhism's history. I want to mention here is to keep up certain attachment to this body is not easy. Not easy. So, as a body is a self, is most our attachment. You see? So right now you see what we are looking for is not mind-free, but look for medical insurance. You can see how difficult Obamacare make. Even though they cannot pay for this, but he look for something. He not responsible, even though he is poor, but mentally he look for something. Okay. So need to penetrate to this body and let go. Maybe the soldier can make it when it is in the war. Yeah. Maybe the mother can make it when the son is in danger or in flooding. Other than that, the dangerous situation, people in the safety time, they don't concern about what is the problem in the mind for long-term processing the attachment. The second, what I want to mention is the sixth patriarch in China, Huineng. So when Huineng's still a farmer, householder, when he listened to one old man chanting the Diamond Sutra, when the reading of Diamond Sutra come to the word, do not abide to anything, to give rise to any thought, he suddenly enlightened. This is a little bit difficult. I translate it like this: should be purified by discarding all such discriminating thoughts. No abiding to sense object rising in the mind. When you listen to that, sudden enlightenment. It means in the daily life that this personality in his mind, that his self-control or self-restraint is very strong, very disciplined. So when he listens to something that not let the mind follow processes, not let the thought take over his mindfulness, he suddenly knows what's going on. That is my mind. For us, we are always processing in our mind, so we are 5 skanda self. What is 5 skanda selves mean in here? Form, feeling, perception, fabrication of mind, or we call that mental formation and consciousness. No such of the life here, even though me, from time to time, my mind still grabbing and processing in form, feelings of form, perception, mental formation, and consciousness. So processing all this clinging or keep manipulating this mindset or body, mental or physical. That is how our mind is, our life is. So without this understanding and experience, not much we know how to overcome this kind of rising and ceasing, mental and physical. Here is something that I want to quote a little bit about the Huineng, because Huineng's life is a little bit earlier than what just now I mentioned Tiano. Tiano's life is in the years of 122, and Huineng's life is in the years of 638 to 713, so it's more earlier. So after listening to the Diamond Sutra, and I think everyone will famous here. This is the poetry, or what we call that kata, in what the fifth Patrick want to retire and look for a new abbot to take over the monastery's responsible, become the chief monk. So he want all these disciples to make enlightened or experientialist words that to show what you have experienced in life. So the Huineng, he saw Shen Xiu already writing down this kata, and then he said that kata is not what mentioned in the profound. Little bit he realized that it's little bit profound than this. So you see, the body is a Bodhi tree, the mind like a bright mirror stand, times and again brush it clean, let no dust alight. In what he's realized after his enlightenment, he knows that originally Bodhi has no tree. The bright mirror has no stand. Originally, there is no a single thing where can dust alight. In his kata, it talk about little bit very profound meaning is depend on the mind as a self. That is the teaching in Chinese Buddhism, Zen practice talk about mind only. When you steal this body, what you can realize is mind only activity, no other else. When the concentration practice, mindfulness training come to more inner to this body and touching to your mind, feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness, you start that active, then you will come to more pure mind state, or more silent, more in serenity experience of the mind phenomenon. So in Chinese Buddhism, the talk about mind-only practice is very profound. I say the profound is like this into the daily experience. When I walk from this corner, come to the pavilion there, and then from the pavilion there, walk back here. You know, a training monk, all your activity, no matter mental or physical, should have a reason to do that. So all the activities should carry a meaning into the training, how to make your mind state more energetic, more concentrated, and more insight to observe your own stress. Don't let the stress make you down. So once I walk there, The only I can focus is my footstep. Because the footstep is always, carry on processing in order I finish this destiny. So other than footstep I can observe, if you observe far away, then your inner observation will become external observation. Then you will cling into the five senses contact. Once you cling into five senses contact, you may, like Dr. Yashida said, the karma is processing. It's not the practicing processing. So I think, I already more serious into the training of mind only. But when I walk to there and then come back, I still struggle by one thing. I tell you the truth. When I walk to the platform there, one of the friends bring a big dog there. He know I'm like the dog. I love dog a lot. I like big dog. So once the big dog run to me, my mindfulness concentration break from there. I suddenly saw this big dog and rising, oh, beautiful dog. Then come back to concentration. This is something that's not what I look for. And I want to avoid my mind state go like that. But I still struggle because of senses contact in the body forms condition to rising the mind feeling. So once the senses contact to the exterior phenomenon, then rising the discrimination thought in the mind. After the discriminating thought in the mind, then suddenly it processing. I don't know, sometimes it will process how long. If you are mindful enough into practice and a serious practitioner, you may pull back very soon. If not, maybe you won't come back. That is why when we sit meditation, our cooker is there. Sometimes like me, I do the cooking, but I doing the cooking, I'm not talking too much. If when you doing your cooking there and you talk too much, then nothing you practice. You come to all this, what we call that, talkative behavior. You build up the talkative behavior, not what you're going to build in the practice. So here is something I want to share with you all in the teaching, because today is the Buddha Day. So I want to quote something like what the Buddha said here. He said that five skanda is a self or not self. It depends on form, feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness. Suffering arises when one identity with it or clings on this aggregate. Suffering is extinguished by relinquishing attachment to this aggregate. And ultimately, freedom is realizing by deeply penetrating to the nature of this aggregate. You see, the teaching is very easy and profound. Once you understand, you already know the truth. But when the mind wants to work to overcome destruction or constructing self is very difficult. Because 5 skanda, we name it, another word is called 5 clinging skanda. That is, we are. So here, another sutra in what the Buddha mentioned is like this. There are 4 kinds of clinging or determining it to be myself. There are 4 kinds of clinging. The first clinging is sensuality clinging. Practical? Sensuality clinging. The second is will clinging. V-I-E-W. Will clinging. Means the idea. I have my idea, I have my faith, I have my this and that. Perception. The third is habit and practice clinging. Yeah. I have my skill, I have my way, I have my ideas about how to practice, how to build up my faith. Yeah. This is another clinging. The third one is doctrines of self clinging. So the Buddha mentioned about these 4 clingings to become a self. You see, once I want to say some, I don't want to mention too much about that sadness, is what we call the terrorist. We name them as a terrorist because they are in dark. If they are in bright, they can do anything on the table. We don't name them terrorists, but they have the same skill. This is called doctrines of self. I think I am right because of certain rule. I think you are wrong because of certain rule. It's never get away from the 5 aggregates of perception, mental formation, and consciousness. All is what we learn from exterior information in order to add into this memory. This memory is habitual practice. So if you memory that you become terrorist, means habitually you practice killing, no matter darkly or in the day. Let me see when Sariputra asking by someone how he answered. Sariputra is very wise in Buddhism. The first, disciple in the Buddha's time, Buddha give him honestly say, Sariputra is the most wise man in our community. So one time, Sariputra in the assembly with the monks, monks, when you go out for the propagating or for a walk, people will ask you, they will ask you, what is your teacher's doctrine? What does your teacher teach? How are you going to answer? And then all these monks were thinking about how I memorize all this teaching, how I understand the teaching, so the monk will answer. I will answer that our teacher teaches the subtleties of passion and desire. See? Can you get it? The teachers teaches the subduing of passion and desire. Correct? Make sense? Make sense? And Sriputra is the most wise man in this community. After he listened to this answer, he said, "Oh, monks, that is not quite, come to the point. You need to answer like this. Our teacher teaches the subduing of passion and desire from form, subduing the passion and desire from feeling, from perception, from mental formation, and from consciousness. That is the most come to the point answer." Make sense? Yes. If you say something subdues of desire and passion, it's only the mental problem. But sometimes it's not mental problem only. Physical and mental is 50-50 condition to support stretching come out, support all this suffering. See? So it means the patience and desire or aversion or delusion is not in the mind only, but with the body, with the five skandhas. So, here is something. In what my understanding always said that food is a new treatment to form. Do you know that food will build up our bad habit in order you cross the line of practice? Do we know that? It's not easy to have awakening to, facing the food. In our tradition and in the Japan tradition, because of food is very difficult to have it, so we take food as a food. Never wasted. Even though a piece of rice cake in Japan, they're thinking about this is delicious, this is most nutrient to life. They never wasted. But from some of us, no matter who you are, if you're not aware, food is nutrient to form. You attach to the form. Sometimes you are corruption because you're too concerned about the form. So you're choosing some good food and you don't like some food that conditioned to support you. Sometimes we wasted a lot of food, make people feel uncomfortable because they have different understanding about food. So in this country, how we can overcome fire aggregate? So discipline when you eat, that is very important. Otherwise, that practice not come to you. You see, in Thai monk, they have only 2 times of food a day. In the morning, in the afternoon. Why they don't go to dinner? Because they need to discipline themselves in the evening have more time to meditate, more time to self-reflection in order they have more purifying mind into the daily mind and body. 5 skandhas penetration. So if one that after lunch not eating, he must be very, very concerned about food nutriment to his mental training. So food is very, very important to him. Not only for the stomach, but for the spiritual training. If someone see the food is not the food, wasted the food, I will see he is not have sensitive enough to awaken his mindful. So secondly, they talk a little bit about touching as the new treatment to feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness. Touching is the new treatment. So when the Chinese Buddhism talk about touching, touching is very, very fast. Not easy to catch up. Once you touch something, the mental already turning, discriminating, and then processing. So touching to something, and then you can realize the reality, and in that time, suddenly you overcome or you enlighten. You need a lot of concentrate training in order your mindset is always in the balanced situation, the mindset. So mindfulness become very balanced in order not up and down in the passion, aversion, and delusion. Then you maybe have the what we call that right mindful to observe the breakthrough of insight. So here is something that when the Buddha said, letting go of 5 aggregate will be for oneself long-term welfare and benefit, not for short-term. So letting go of oneself need to cover letting go of sensuality clinging, letting go of will clinging, letting go of habit and practice clinging, and letting go of doctrines of self clinging. Is it easy? We always caught in this 4 clinging. Me too. So as the one disciple of the Buddha, want to preach, want to give a talk about the training of transcendent mind or sudden mind state, I am a graduate student. Sometimes move forward, sometimes move backward, sometimes move forward, sometimes backward. Some day very good day, some day they're very depressed. But anyway, I still not need the counselor. But a lot of people, they are destruction, the mindset, they need counselor. Why? Because of the clinging of sensuality, the clinging of will, the clinging of habitual practice, the clinging of doctrine sometimes. Some people, I want to say this, as a religious practitioner, for me, What is the religious practitioner means you're more open-minded, you know. Your common sense is easy to make harmony, you know, make friends, showing all the friendliness, compassion to all walks of life and living in. That is a religious practitioner. But when you have a doctrine in your mind, as I know the truth, you don't know the truth, very difficult to come together. You see? That is our world in all different fields. Science, politics, you know, business, this and that. They all make their fields as an identity to become, I'm professional. So that is called self. With this self, sometimes my nation, your nation, they break up a lot of self. When we say that want to break into this exterior world, you know how people make trouble to this world? I don't know how they think, but I think these fools, F-O-O-L. You know, that is some island right now, nobody there. Only animal as the owner of the animal or fish as the owner. But right now, the mankind, human going there and point, this is my territory, this is my password. A lot of trouble coming. What kind of doctrine is that? Self-view. Personal view. So, constructing of self. Another word in Buddhism is clinging of self. Here is something I want to come to the last part of the talk. This last part of the talk is called constructing to a path. In what just now, in the Bedding Buddha, we chant a sutra, we call that Heart Sutra. Heart Sutra is what I learned when I come to Chinese Buddhism. I put my heart into it. It is simple, it is direct teaching the sequence in the what I am famous Majjhima Nikaya, and no, in the what we call the Samyutta Nikaya. So the connected discourses in Buddhism is most primary resources in Buddhism is same order like the Heart Sutra. First talking about 5 Skandas, how to have a deep emerge and penetrate to this 5 Skandas, and then from 5 Skandas talk about the 5 senses object and feelings of mind formation, and then talk about psychologically that is 12 links, mind activity, talk about 12 links, and then from there psychologically phenomena of 12 links, talk about the Four Noble Truths. From the Four Noble Truths, then talking about without conceptual attachment. Then you come to merge to the Dhamma seal and reach totally transcended Nibbana. Very simple, only 200 some words in the Heart Sutra. The mention about the sequence of practice from 5 Skandas, how to build up your own practice. Is it easy? No. Come to the first part of practice, we already knocked down, because the first part talk about, restraint of senses. Restraint of senses. How many of us have a very, very sensitive sense that I need to restrain my senses? How many? How many of us? When we saw beauty, we want to avoid we saw beauty. Have anyone like that? We saw ugly, we want to avoid so ugly. How many of them like that? All of us. See? That is how our mind habitual practice. Common sense is not common sense. In Buddhism, just something like this. Actively, when the Buddha said, 5 aggregates, no matter senses-based, internal, mental-based, long time this mind been defiled by passion, aversion, and delusion. They say long time. Okay? Long time means you cannot count when it starts. That is one key word in Buddhism. No original, no starting point. It only point to certain condition. You start from here. But life carry on this, what Dr. Yasuda says is gene. All this gene process of mental is long time ago. So he don't want to answer all these questions. He just want to say, sit still. Soto Zen is from China. I really know something going on like that because word cannot make enlightenment. Talk cannot make processing. Only stop mental activity can know the truth, can break the gate, going to the truth. So one is free from 5 aggregate, is free from passion, desire, love, thirst, fever, craving, and so on. And does not arise any sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair. This is the answer. And oppositely, when one is free from passion, desire, love, thirst, and not arising of sorrow, lamentation, and grief, pain, he is free from the 5 aggregate. This is concluded teaching in the connected discourses. Once these 5 skandha you can penetrate to all these mental problems. Once a mental problem, you can observe it and let it be itself, not grab it, not push it away by mindfulness, by insight, you are overcome the 5 aggregate. This is the conclusion. I hope in this today's the Buddha Day, I want to talk something that more carry the meaning to the Buddha, and not just a simple talk, but a profound meaning there with a simple word. I try my best already to cover this topic. That is my, wholehearted interest topic. 5 skandha, depend on 5 skandha as a self, or depend on mind numbering the self. This is 2 teaching I found only in the teaching of Dhamma make me wake up. Mind only or skandha only. Thank you.